Johnny Blaze, in our world, the first character to really become the Ghost Rider in Marvel Comics, in Marvel Spotlight number 5 from May of 1972. But in Marvel's Earth 616, Johnny has a family tree that has quite a bit of history of flaming skulls. I'm Adam, and today I'm going to try my best to explain the Ghost Rider family tree. Okay, so technically I should say that Carter Slade was the actual first ever character to hold the name Ghost Rider, arriving back in 1966, but he isn't very important to this list as he isn't actually a Ghost Rider like we are accustomed to, and his name was even changed to the Phantom Rider when Johnny Blaze was introduced. Okay, so for the family history of Johnny Blaze, we actually have to go back over 20,000 years, when the Immortals known as the Blood allied themselves with the original Spirits of Vengeance in a war against a soul-stealing demon named Zarathos. To win the war, the Blood created a mystical medallion of power which housed the assembled power of the Spirits of Vengeance, with a portion of Zarathos becoming trapped in this medallion as well. But we also have to talk about Mephisto, who was a rival to Zarathos. Mephisto tricked Zarathos and would trap him in the bodies of different mortals over the years, with Zarathos forgetting everything every time he switched to a new body. But back to the medallion of power, the Blood decided that the artifact was too powerful to be kept intact, so it was broken into shards and its essence was placed into the spiritual bloodlines of two families. We will be mainly focusing on the Kale bloodline for today and the main Ghost Riders. There's a lot going on for each rider and their various sources of power, so for the sake of time and simplicity, I'm just going to briefly cover each of their origin stories. Starting with Noble Kale. In the 17th century, a young Puritan man named Noble Kale fell in love with a woman named Magdalena. Noble hid his romance from his father, who was both not very nice and also a pastor. Noble and Magdalena had a child, but shortly after the kid was born, Magdalena discovered that Pastor Kale was a servant of Mephisto, and to keep this a secret, Pastor Kale had Magdalena branded a witch and burned at the stake. As she succumbed to the fire, she cursed Pastor Kale, invoking the Furies to seek vengeance in her name, and they definitely did, going on a rampage. Pastor Kale sought aid from the demon Mephisto, offering Noble's soul to the demon. Mephisto recognized the medallion shard within Noble Kale and activated it, transforming the young man into a living spirit of vengeance. Mephisto tried to corrupt Noble Kale, but he failed, and instead he just kept his eye on the Kale family bloodline, looking for a time to try and strike again. It was decided that Noble's soul wouldn't belong to heaven or hell, but instead would be summoned forth by his descendants, inhabiting the firstborn child of each generation. This included a Ghost Rider who was a cavalry soldier during World War I, who we know basically nothing about, and Naomi Kale, the mother of Johnny, her eldest son, and his siblings Dan and Barbara. Fearing for her children, Naomi split up the family, leaving her eldest son with his father, Barton Blaze, and leaving Dan and his sister Barbara with Francis Ketch in Cypress Hills, New York. She unsuccessfully attempted to end the curse, tapping into the power of Noble Kale, very briefly, using the medallion of power that she kept on her motorcycle's gas cap, and battling Mephisto, who brought her to an end. Alright, and that brings us straight to who we are here for. Johnny Blaze, the first Ghost Rider to appear chronologically in the pages of Marvel Comics. Johnny was raised by his father, Barton Blaze, who was a motorcycle stunt rider. Unfortunately though, Barton passed away in this line of work, so instead, Johnny was raised by Craig Crash Simpson. Johnny can't seem to catch a break in terms of father figures though, as he later finds out that Crash has developed cancer. Johnny, completely unaware of his connection to mystical forces, dove into the occult to try and save Crash. He learned a spell to summon the devil, who turned out to actually be Mephisto. Johnny made a deal with Mephisto, his soul and servitude to Mephisto, in order to save Crash's life, with Mephisto saying he'd take a rain check on collecting what he's owed. Crash was cured of his cancer, but in the classic Mephisto twist, Crash instead passed away during a motorcycle stunt literally right afterwards. Mephisto showed up to collect and corrupt the firstborn child of this generation of the Kale bloodline. That's Johnny Blaze. Activating the Ghost Rider medallion medallion bloodline ability inside of Johnny, turning Johnny into the Ghost Rider by night. But he couldn't take Johnny's soul thanks to Roxanne, Johnny's love interest, showing up and proclaiming her love for the guy, which drove Mephisto away temporarily, and that is the power of love, kids. Side note, while he didn't play a big part at first, later on, Zarathos would develop more and more inside of Johnny Blaze until he was taken out and captured. Also, the whole Rider by Night thing definitely changed eventually too, and Johnny has been a big part of every subsequent Ghost Rider story, especially as he even became the Lord of Hell for a while. Now, fast forward to Ghost Rider Volume 3 in 1990, and us readers are introduced to Johnny's long-lost brother, Danny Ketch, alongside their sister, Barbara Ketch. After witnessing a fight break out between the gangs of Death Watch and Kingpin, the two siblings, Barbara and Danny, are spotted by the criminals, and during the altercation, Barbara is wounded with a crossbow bolt. The two of them decide to hide in a junkyard, where Danny notices a brand new motorcycle with a glowing medallion on the gas cap. Danny touches the motorcycle of his mother with his sister's blood on his hands and is instantly transformed into a spirit of vengeance. Now, Danny was a really interesting Ghost Rider, and his character got some rather tragic developments and then redemptions along his way. He is currently not even Ghost Rider, but is instead Death Rider, but I just can't get into that right now. I would highly suggest you check out his comics. He's also the first Ghost Rider to get the penance stare and the mystical chain that become commonplace for all other Ghost Riders after this point. With Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch both being part of the Kale bloodline, they are the nephews of Joshua Kale, who is a leader of the cult of Zared Na, and they're also cousins of Jennifer Kale, his daughter, who became a powerful and skilled sorceress and an ally of Man-Thing. But since I want to focus on Ghost Riders, I'm only going to briefly mention them right now because they don't really matter, and we are now moving away from the Kale family here to look at two others, starting with Alejandra Jones. Alejandra Jones first appeared in Ghost Rider Fear Itself issue number 1 in 2011. Alejandra, along with a few select others, were raised in a tomb in South America until they turned 18 by a man named Adam. Adam was using Alejandra as part of a grand plan to get rid of all sin on the planet Earth, but this would also leave every single person on Earth as a soulless husk, which is not good. She was forced to bond with the spirit of vengeance of Johnny Blaze by one of Adam's lackeys named the Seeker, and she was an incredibly powerful Ghost Rider as she was literally raised for this one purpose by Adam. She could use the power in ways Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch just weren't creative enough to use. She was used by Adam for a little while, even being forced to admit an explosion that wiped the sin from everyone in the country of Nicaragua. Luckily though, she was eventually stopped, swayed, and saved by Johnny Blaze himself, who eventually became her mentor. Johnny would eventually take back most of the Spirit of Vengeance power, leaving her with only a little fraction before she did eventually pass away. The next and last Ghost Rider we are going to talk about today is Roberto Reyes, who was quite unique in terms of Ghost Riders. When we first meet the Mexican-American Robbie, he is taking care of his little brother, going to school, working part-time at an auto shop, and at night competing in street races, which is an incredibly busy lifestyle. But in order to try and win enough money to help him and his brother's situation, Robbie enters into a race with a stolen '69 Dodge Charger. Unfortunately for him, the car itself was haunted by Eli Morrow, an incredibly violent serial killer and Robbie's uncle. Using the family connection, Eli embedded himself into Robbie's psyche, which allows Robbie to become an all-new kind of Ghost Rider after he was attacked during the race. Robbie is a good guy, and he tries to use his powers to be a hero, so a large part of what makes his Ghost Rider compelling is the struggle to not give in to his sadistic uncle's influence. Also, he has a hellfire-infused demonic '69 Dodge Charger over a motorcycle, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Lastly though, I want to briefly cover the Ghost Rider abilities. The powers of the Spirits of Vengeance and the other sources of Ghost Rider power give the Ghost Riders almost all the same abilities to change into their Ghost Rider form, becoming one of the most powerful beings on the planet with superhuman strength and an incredible level of super durability to almost any Earth-based attacks. They have taken hits from the Hulk and instantly reformed lost limbs and shattered skulls. Most attacks pass right through or bounce off of a Ghost Rider, with the exception of heaven-forged weapons and other other mythical artifacts or attacks. Ghost Rider is able to manipulate sins, souls, demonic magic, his size, and at one point Johnny Blaze was considered for the role of Sorcerer Supreme. Now, a staple of the Ghost Rider power is Hellfire control. Hellfire is an ethereal and supernatural flame that burns and purifies the souls of both mortals and immortals, but can also do harm to their physical bodies as well. Riders are able to absorb any form of fire thanks to this, and Ghost Rider is able to generate, manipulate, and project Hellfire in a bunch of ways, most notably by infusing Hellfire into a vehicle or mount that can move extremely fast, ride up walls, make insane jumps, and a whole bunch of other crazy, extremely awesome, very fun stuff. Honestly, every Ghost Rider's mount is awesome, and it's not always motorcycles. We should start a discussion in the comments. What is your favorite Ghost Rider mount? Mine would have to be the massive spider used by a Ghost Rider during the time of Conan the Barbarian. Now, I also have to mention the incredibly infamous Penance Stare. This ability makes a person see and feel all the pain they've inflicted on anyone else during their entire life, and it is essentially the end of the line for anyone who is subjected to it. Now, because comics are inconsistent, this doesn't always work the way it's supposed to, and we do have a video or two you can check out going over a handful of times the Ghost Rider's most deadly ability did not work. Now, there are a lot of characters, humans, angels, demons, gods, monsters, and everything in between who play a part in the Ghost Rider stories. Hopefully though, this video gave you enough information to be able to jump into the comics for yourself and explore those awesome characters. But that's all the time I have left for today. I'm Adam Andrews with Top 10 Nerd. Thanks for watching, and peace out, nerds.